Yep, lads, introduce yourselves.
Oh, um,
I'm, that went well. I'm Bez. How's it?
Mhm.
Jimmy,
Yeah.
just enjoying a really well-deserved beer.
His first beer from tour.
Since tour.
Well done. Since tour.
So yeah.
Well done.
No, I've not been that lucky. I'm Johnny. I'm an alcoholic. And in, we are Ruff Majik, or at least three out of four.
Yeah.
We are 3/4.
Of an idiot.
3/4 of an idiot. There we go.
Almost completed the ritual. And lads, you guys have just come back from a European tour. Can you just walk me through that? How's the experience been? What's it like being back home? And just the feelings of being back home and after that tour.
It's a bit weird being. Um, what is. I'm trying to do the. I'm trying to get the comparison correct. I think when we're on tour, we're in the Matrix, and when we're back from tour, we're like in the outside of the Matrix in the weird machine world type place, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
for me, example, I think
for me, example.
we landed. I think the Monday and Tuesday I had to be back at work, so that was really jarring for me. Going from sitting in a van for 6 to 7 hours, showing up at a venue, and then 4 o'clock you need to do sound check and set up, and then only at 6 or 7 you have like an hour free time, and then show happens, selling merch, heading back to the hostel at 2 or hotel at 2, and then coming back from that to actual work and working with clients. That's been weird.
We've had the running joke going where it's like, since we've been back, just send a message to the band group, just being like, "Boys, what time sound check?" And everyone's like, "Fuck!" Like, I'm not sure. Are we in time?
Dude, that sounds about as pleasant as a fucking ice bath, dude. Holy shit. Like, what? So wait, you got back from tour and what, like on the weekend, and then you were back at work that following, like that Monday.
Yeah, no, so we landed on Monday
Yeah.
and Tuesday I had to be back at work. So
Not only back at work, he went to, because he works for a safe company that builds safes. I mean, the company is safe as well, but it's. But. Sorry, we're having a bit of a time. But they, so you had to go to like a big security convention, which is a weird trade off from being in a band.
Yeah, and then it's this me trying to dull my personality down for convention bros or chads.
Convention chads.
So yeah, that was a weird experience, but yeah, the tour definitely made it worth the while. It was really good, really fun.
Yeah.
Saw some crazy things, some stupid things happen, but it was all fun.
And we're gonna get into all of those things, but yeah, I don't know. I think like when we got back, I didn't have. I'm doing the stuff with Matt Bacon, so I had to hop on recording a bunch of stuff, and me and him have been planning some shit throughout the week. How long have we been back?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. So
This is week number
that
2.
was happening, and then I was joining the Planet Caravan homies. We were doing the coverage for the Capital Craft Beer Fest. So honestly, it hasn't changed that much from tour life. It's kind of still the same shit happening, but
Except we don't need to pack a van in and out every single fucking day. That's
I've been kind of missing that. That's the most I've exercised in fucking ages. I've got the proper muscles now.
My muscles are getting bigger.
We'll
calling ourselves Buff Magic.
Buff Majik.
You guys should actually absolutely release a merch range where it's Buff Magic, and it's just a bunch of wife beaters.
I think so, right? So, well, that's a fun. We'll circle back to that for tour purposes because we were selling wife beaters. We weren't technically selling wife beaters on this tour. We were selling shirts, just regular shirts, but we did rip the fucking sleeves off of every single one that we sold, which was fucking amazing. But yeah, no, Buff Magic. I think that's a good idea. But it should look like a proper gym bro type outfit, though. Yeah. Like, for real. Yeah. But I've
Just tap out.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
tap out.
but then Ruff Majik needs to split up, and then we create Buff Majik. The same members, but we just deny that we're the exact
That
same
Ruff
members.
Magic ever exists. No, because we're not the exact same members. We split up. We take fucking 6 months off. We get fucking ripped, boys. We get back on the road, and we're just the buffest dudes you've ever seen.
No, yes, like if you want to go pump some iron, eh?
Yeah, I want to, like, we have to go through guitars like toilet paper just because they break, right? Not because I'm just throwing them on the ground, because I'm trying to play it and it just goes.
Oh, dude, I'm completely for that idea. And then what we'll do is we'll just edit that whole section out so that like when it comes to denying that you guys are Rough Magic, we'll just there's no fucking evidence, dude. There's nothing.
We've been joking around with disbanding Ruff Magic for many years, but it never like to stop Ruff Magic. So one of our prevalent ideas is that we want to kill the band, right? And then us go on tour as a tribute band to Ruff Magic, and then that's the thing. Like we will be, and then when people ask as well, we're like, no, we just really look like those guys, but.
Well, we really serving the bit, dude. Like we did our research, we know what they look like, and we just
Yeah, that's it.
do like weird parodies of your names as well, dude. Like
Janas Vakanas.
Janas Vakanas is a great idea. Oh, Yanni Vakansi.
you guys obviously, how many shows did you guys play over? Where exactly you toured Europe? Where exactly all did you end up?
So we covered Netherlands, Germany, France, Czech Republic, Denmark, and Switzerland,
And Luxembourg.
and Luxembourg. So 7.
Yeah, 7 countries. And 26 shows, 25 shows.
No,
24
it was
shows.
20. It was 24 days on the road, 21 shows.
Right, okay.
So you're saying you played it with 27 shows across a bunch of different cities.
No, it was 21 shows in 24
21
days.
shows.
Yeah, in 24 days. So
Yeah.
basically, and that included our landing and taking off, I think. So we had like one off day.
Yeah, we had a one-off day heading there and heading back.
This correct me if I'm wrong. This was the second tour, hey?
The second most okay, so Bez's second
This was
tour
my
technically,
second tour, yeah.
since he's been in the band. For me and Jimmy, it's been our. Well, you missed one at some point, so
5?
it was 5 for you. It was number 6 for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So depends on who you ask in the band. The answer is going to be different.
And completely different from the first one, from where you basically winged it.
But yeah, so we covered 7 countries in 24 days, which was fucking rad, and it was everything from festivals to club shows.
Yeah.
We did some cool sports shows, and we did some cool festivals, like I just said. I'm fucking, my brain is cooked, brah. And then...
Yeah, no, there was a really cool couple of festivals, like the one in Denmark, Iceberg, that was fantastic.
And then Gockel Scream in
Dresden,
Dresden.
And we did Desert Fest in Berlin, which was fucking rad. And then we did a couple of our own headliners, which is not something we've done yet, really. We always kind of stick to running with the supports because it's easier, and we're Mr. Steal Your Crowd, so we just fucking hop in there and sell merch because people like us. But we did some headliners this time around, which was fucking rad. And we didn't know what the fuck to expect because a lot of these places we've never been before, So we rocked up in like Nuremberg and we were like, I don't know, maybe we'll play to like 2 people, but let's have a good time anyway. But then the places were fucking full. Yeah. That was amazing. But, and people came out to check Ruff Majik, and I was like, holy shit! I didn't realize we had a fucking fan base in Nuremberg.
No, and if I'm not mistaken, I think we sold 40% of our merch there. Like after that show, we didn't have any merch left.
Yeah, that was a fuck up actually after Nuremberg. But that was alright. That was a bit later into the tour. Anyway, sorry. There's a bunch of squirrels running around in my head right now.
Would you say that you have a bigger following in Europe than you do in South Africa?
Oh, yes. We definitely do.
Yeah. Oh,
No, but I mean in sheer numbers, right? So in SA, if we do Cape Town or Pretoria or Joburg, we've got a set amount of people that will be there. But now in Europe, we kind of have that at
Everywhere.
random towns
Yeah.
as well. So just by numbers, it's actually more.
Yeah.
But every time we go to a place, it feels like playing a hometown gig, which is quite nice.
Yeah, because we've had it a couple of times where people, older guys, came out as like, yeah, no, I know this band from way back in the day, but after you guys opened for them, I don't want to see the main band. I'm just gonna have a beer or two, come back, buy a vinyl, and then I'm heading home. Which was really fucking good for us. We really appreciated that.
Yeah, happened a couple of times. The funniest one, I won't mention band names specifically, but we were opening for like a really rad psych rock band, but it's kind of like this slow kind of swell, and they've got a whole light show, and it's really impressive. A guy pitched up to speak to me like after our show. He's like, I got here, I was coming here for like a really slow, tripped out psych vibe, check all the lights, whatnot. So I took a bunch of acid, and then I watched you guys, and it was like witnessing an explosion. And now I'm leaving. I'm going home. And I was like, I'm so sorry. And he was like, no, don't apologize. Best show I've seen in ages, but fuck. I was not ready for that vibe.
And this is why you research who's playing before taking drugs and going to a show.
Definitely, yeah. I feel like nobody should ever do any psychedelics before watching Ruff Majik. Or you should, but just start.
Brace
just
yourself.
a little.
Prepare yourself.
Microdose.
Yeah, just microdose, just a little bit.
You wanted to like at some point circle back to the merch, and this comes back to one of the like you've been obviously Johnny, you've been posting these like musical advice sort of snippets on social media, much to the joy of some people and the disdain of others. One of the things you spoke about was your merch and how you guys initiated a bunch of sales at a particular show. Walk us through that.
Okay, so I'm gonna run you through. Well, let's do the all trash no trailer thing first, because I think that's the single weirdest thing I've ever done for merch sales, and it just worked out, which is alarming me. I think it must be like some billionaire's wet dream, because I was selling less shirt per shirt for more money. Because what it came down to is like, I was joking when we got there. I was like, we're gonna sell these shirts for however much, and then we ask $5 extra. Then we rip the sleeves off to make it really trashy. And everyone was having a laugh about it. We were like, yeah, sure, like that would fucking happen. And then this guy came walking up to us. He bought the shirt. And then I don't know if I had spoken to somebody else in the crowd about it before, like at the very first show. This guy was like, yeah, okay. So, and then $5 extra because you need to rip off my sleeves. And we were like, what? And it was like, yeah, like that's the deal, right? And we were like, yeah, why not? Fucking let's do it. And then we kept doing that, and people kept being interested in that idea. That's the fucking weirdest thing. Like, people show up and they're like, yeah, it says all trash, no trailer. It should not have sleeves. Let's go. Let's do it. And then it made for a really interesting event around the merch, because people would gather around to see us literally rip the sleeves off someone. I mean, there's no fucking, we don't have scissors or some shit. We're just standing there brute force ripping someone's sleeves off. And then the crowd goes like, woo! What a vibe.
I love that. Like I can imagine going to a show and paying an extra $5 to be manhandled.
You've got a fairly personalized merch item, because no two shirts tear the same.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's one hell of a story to tell people. Like like think about just the sheer word of mouth. No one's gonna leave that and be like, oh yeah, no, I went to the show and it was okay. They're gonna be like, dude, I went to a show and these dudes ripped my fucking sleeves off. And I know if someone came to me and told me that, I would be like, bro, fucking tell me more. What does
No, it's exactly that. That's what I'm saying as well. It's Sorry, but
Jimmy's being eaten.
being eaten alive. No, but that was kind of the thing that we. I also did it in one of my videos where I said I think it has to be a thing where, and it's become a thing with Ruff Majik. So you have the show, and the show is wild, and we're doing all sorts of crazy shit and whatnot. But then we all go to the merch table, and we stay there for the rest of the night. But we also party a lot, so we stand there fucking and have a joel with the people. And so what people get from that is they leave and they've bought merch or whatever, but they don't remember anything about the show. They don't remember anything about what went down that night. They're just like, I saw a fun band, and then we got really fucking hammered together at their merch table, you know. But they forget about the idea that the merch table was even there. They're just like, we just had a joel with these guys from South Africa. And that works out really well for us.
Yeah, and I think also something that also works out really well for us is that we're not one of those bands that just sit backstage. I mean, fuck, there's so many great bands that we're on tour with that we really want to fucking see. We've grown up with them all of our lives, so
Their music, not
yeah.
them.
Yeah, well,
Continue.
all of their music, and then yeah, we'll always walk around the campsites and then the venue, and then people will look at us strange, like, why the fuck are you here and not backstage? And I mean,
Yeah, it's weird. People have this concept over there where they're like, why are you out here jolling with the peasants?" And I'm like, "Fuck, bro, because I'm the peasants. You know, I just want to be out here hanging out with some folks. You know, and that
Just want to
served
have a
us
good
really
time.
well. Yeah,
yeah, that's how we started the band, was getting to free festivals. So
yeah. That's why anyone ever starts a band, honestly, is
Yeah,
so
to
you
get
can
in
see
for
shows
free.
for free, right? That's what it's about.
Dude, that's what this has become. Like with Sludge is like we're like, yeah, the Vakken finals. Like we wouldn't have gone up to that otherwise. We wouldn't have been able to. But no, it was just like, hey, do you guys want to come and do coverage? Fuck yes.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. But that's what's developed a sort of infamy around Ruff Majik right now in Europe. Is people are like, I think people come for shows, but people really come for a party. And I'm like, fuck yeah, that's a good thing to have follow you around because people pitch up ready to fucking draw.
Yeah.
You know. It gets a bit taxing though. I mean, here by week 2, everyone in the band's like, fuck.
Yeah, but then usually we have one rest day, we have one off day.
And then we don't rest at all.
We don't rest. But then, like it feeds the soul a little bit, and we'll have some beers just an off day without having to set up for a show, and then the next day we're ready again. Yeah.
So we had, for instance, we had one off day just before we played Prague, and I remember that what happened was we got there, we were like, oh, we're gonna have a bit of a jaw, it's lacquer, and then we get some rest. That's cool. And the next morning, I think it was 11 o'clock in the morning. Me and Bez were standing on the porch of this place watching some kids walk to school, drinking vodka out of fucking teacups, and we're like, we fucked it up completely. There's no rest involved. It's gone.
I can just imagine you like coming out of a blackout, dude, and so like a toddler gaining consciousness and being like, "Fuck."
Yeah, no, but this is the problem. There was no sleep involved. That was just us the next morning at 11, still drinking, and we're like, this is not good. This is.
How long after that did you have to get on stage?
I think we had about a 2-hour nap, and then we had to start loading in a venue and all that kind of shit. So, not ideal. But, that happened. I wish I could say that's the only time that happened on tour, but it's not. Definitely not.
Yeah, we also had some funny merch.
Yeah, funny merch. Funny merch is good. Like, some people were saying, you're selling meme merch, and we were like, yeah, I guess. Because we've got like a shirt that says "smells like day drinking," and people are like, "Fuck yeah, I'm gonna buy that." We've got the infamous "drugs are cool" shirt, which is it sells really well, except if we're in Bavaria, and then people are like, "I couldn't wear this. Like, I'd be profiled by the police immediately." And I'm like, "No, fuck that. Wear it to sleep. Why not?" Yeah, but that's also something that worked out quite well. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a picture here of the drugs are cool and also the all trash no trailer in one photograph.
but they sell quite well. It's a cool vibe. But so the thing around this shirt is, it's a buddy of ours that made it, and initially he only printed like fucking 10 of them or whatever, and just gave them to some friends. And I was wearing it, and then at some point he decided, you know what, this is good. This is good Ruff Majik merchandise, and then we started using it as Ruff Majik merchandise. But before that, one day I was the sickest person on earth. Like, not because I did a kickflip, just like I was actually sick. And then, then I had to go to the pharmacy. Went to the pharmacy, and they wouldn't sell me medicine, like at all. Um, and I had like a fucking forever argument with these guys about it. And eventually, a dude pointed at my shirt, and he's like, "I literally can't give you medicine." I looked at it and I was like, "Oh, I'm wearing the drugs are cool shirt. Okay, fair enough. I'm gonna go home then."
That's like almost like unbelievable like levels of fucking like
These boys have been in the car with me when we get pulled over by the cops, and I'm wearing that fucking shirt. And then every time the cops are like, "Hey, how are you doing?" And I'm like, "No."
it reminds me of a story. I don't know if you guys know a band called Bad Flower.
Bad Flower. I know the name Bad Flower, but I can't say that I know the band.
Bad Flower were touring in, I think it was like Germany or something for the first time, and they also got pulled over, and it was something like the police were like asking them a bunch of questions and whatnot, because they obviously, musicians look dodgy in general. And they were like, "No, we're in a band, we're touring." And the guy was like, "Okay, what's your band called?" And just searched up their music right there and then to like listen to them. I assume maybe to validate their story, fuck knows. But the very first song that came up was a song called Heroin.
When we drove into Denmark on this trip, like to get to the Esberg Festival, we had been driving through the rest of the EU without incident because they don't have border control. But at Denmark, they kind of do. But it's not like border control over here. It's kind of just like there's a couple of cops and they could pull you over, but they usually don't. We came driving in, and I was driving. Jimmy was sitting next to me, and you could see the bro was looking at the number plates, which were from the Netherlands. Looked up at me, and already he was like, "Hmm." And he looked over at Jimmy, and he was like, "Nah, nah, nah, pull the fuck over." And we were like, "Okay." So we pulled over. They stopped us, and they're like, "Okay, cool. Do where are you guys from? Did you travel here from the Netherlands?" And we're like, "No, no, no, no. We're from South Africa." And he's like, "Oh shit, okay, cool." Pull out the passports, pull out the driver's licenses. He's checking everything, but he already thinks we're dodgy because yes, musicians, I guess. And then he's like, "Do you guys have any drugs on you?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not a fucking idiot. Of course not." And he's like, "Yeah, that's fine." Walks away with the passports, and as he walks away with the passports, we remember we do in fact have a banky of weed in the cubby.
But like
Like a little bit, but
Like a
we
little
do.
bit, like a little bit, yeah.
And now it's there, and in a uncharacteristic move, we're like, we should just fucking play this straight. When that guy comes back, we're gonna tell him we forgot we had weed with us, but we do. Sorry about that. He pitches up back, and he's like, "Okay, cool." And we're like, "Listen, we forgot. We've got this little bit." And he's like, "Yeah, we were gonna search the car anyway, but now we're gonna proper search the car." And they brought out the drug dog. And the drug dog had to sniff us. We had to unpack the whole van. They were fucking looking inside of amps and bags and whatnot, checking everything. And now because I'm the one driving, the guy's like, "We're gonna have to make sure that you're okay to drive." And I'm like, "That's fair enough." And he does the thing where he shines the fucking flashlight in your eye, and it's supposed to. I don't know what it's supposed to do, but I hadn't slept in 2 days, so he shines the flashlight in my eye, and I just stand there, just fucking looking at him, and it's like, "That's not
Like a
right."
deer in the
That's
headlights, dude. You just
like that's a real big problem. Like, we have to actually proper test you now, and I'm like, you know what? That's very fair. Let's do that. So then they take me to the interrogation room, and I have to do like a mouth swab, and they start testing the thing. And the guy's like, "When's the last time you smoked weed?" And I'm like, well, we've been on tour, so definitely on the tour, but not for the last 5 days, I'm guessing. And he's like, "Yeah, okay, cool." Um, but if you're lying to us, we can tell. And I'm like, "Well, fuck, that's fine." And then as the test is happening, he's like, "Okay, but now that you know you're being tested, do you want to change your story?" And I'm like, "Why the fuck would I?" Like, I mean, I'm being tested right now anyway. Would it make any difference? Uh, but yeah, so eventually we get around to it. I start cracking jokes with the dudes because it's not like SA police. These guys are just way too friendly, and I'm just like having a good time. And then eventually it works out that I tested clean for smoking weed, and I make the joke that I'm like, hey, it's a good thing you guys weren't testing for other shit. And the guy's like, ha ha ha, you should fucking leave right now. And I'm like, hey, let's just fucking hop in the van and go.
Please stop
Um,
giving us fucking reasons to
yeah,
test you for
please.
shit. You know that like Paul Rudd like a meme, dude, where he's just standing there with the cigarette. He's like, "Fuck's sakes, now you've made more work for me."
Yeah, please just stop talking. I think I had, but the one, so this thing's like 6 policemen, and they're all trying to be like really, really intimidating, and like 5 of them, and the one guy is having the biggest fucking laugh, bro. Every time I open my mouth, this guy is canning himself. And eventually they let us go, and they're like, "Listen, you're gonna fucking get pulled over again in Denmark, so don't be idiots." And we're like, "No, no, we'll be all right." Um, and I got back to the van. The other boys were sitting there. I thought they would be like really concerned or whatnot, but I got back into the van. Everyone was having a laugh already, and I was like, "Oh shit, barely an inconvenience." But then what's funny is, so we drive off, and obviously they kept the weed, but it was like a little bit, really. And
It was like under 1 grams.
yeah, but right behind us, on the way to the same festival, there's a band called the Whims of the Great Magnet. Really fucking cool band. They're heading to the same festival, and they drive in right behind us. So as we're unloading our van and the drug dogs there, you can see them driving by, and their eyes are wide as fuck. They're like, "Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit," right? And I know why they were feeling like that, because they were driving like an 80s combi, and it was hand painted hippie van vibes. They're like, "Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit." We get to the festival, those guys run up to us. They're like, "Fuck, are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, got pulled over. They took the weed." And the bro's like, "Yes, if they pulled us over, it would have, we have a brick." Like, we would have gone to jail. So we just managed to be the sacrificial lamb, which was,
Yeah,
helped out.
all's well that ends well.
But yeah, so that's a little bit of almost getting arrested on tour.
It's interesting, like you were saying, that there's certain publications that don't want to like show these sides of things, which I I do find a little bit like interesting in terms of like you said, it's rock and roll, it's a lifestyle. You're not doing anything in terms of fucking trafficking people, but just getting up to mischief.
It's not dark. It's just rock and roll vibes. But I guess for the kids, for the kids,
How do I reach these
how do I reach these kids?
How do I reach these kids?
Yeah, fuck. Yeah, I don't know. But some people are like, no, can't print that, and I'm like, well, that's weird. Usually, I think back in the day, it was a thing of people having these kinds of conversations, and then the band is like, but remember, that's off the record. Now it's a situation where the publication is like, yeah, we can't do that. Right? We can't tell people that happened.
Good God. But and then like on that note, like what are the future plans for Ruff Majik? Like in closing, what's the next step from here? You guys are obviously recovering from, being dragged around Europe at this rate. Um, and yeah, what are the plans for the future? What's like the next step for Ruff Majik from here? And where can people find you?
We finished recording a brand new album this year, which is miraculous, because I don't know how the fuck that happened in between all of this crazy shit.
Yeah.
But they got it all in. It's being printed to vinyl and CD and whatnot now. Release date is 1 October. And that's also our first next date in Europe. And then we're going to be in Europe for about a month again around October. Maybe a month and a half. We're still kind of trying to figure that out. But we've got a month of shows already. Kind of booked some cool festivals. We'll be doing Desert Fest Belgium this time. We'll be doing Keep It Low in Munich, which is quite rad. I think we're hitting Hossavat, maybe. I'm not sure, in Norway. Some really cool thing in Hamburg as well.
Is it with Fu Manchu?
Yeah, the one in Hamburg is with Fu Manchu and Shark Fighters.
Keep it low.
Yeah, keep it. No?
Yeah.
Lazy Bones.
Lazy Bones.
Lazy Bones. There we go. Yeah. So basically, we're dropping a new album on 1 October, and we're supporting it immediately. Like back as it drops, we're on the road again, and just probably more of this. Let's be honest. It's gonna be a lot of good shows, a lot of fun times, a lot of partying at the merch booth, and walking through the streets, waking up Germans.
Like, yeah, boys, thank you so much for taking the time to have a chat with me. I hope you boys have a fantastic Sunday afternoon. And yeah, these are always a riot. Like, there's just a never-ending supply of fun shit with you lads. I love it.
Is what it is. Thanks, homie.